Jared Polinfrono's photo.com, and it's time for photos of the week. And these photos come from LA when I was out there shooting BlogWorld Expo 2007, the LA edition. Basically, it was my job to go and photograph all of the different speakers as well as speak at BlogWorld's conference. So it was an interesting photo shoot because we're shooting in a convention center, and for some reason the AV team thought it would be best to have most of the lights off in the rooms, making it almost impossible for people to photograph if they didn't have, one, the know-how to shoot in certain lighting situations, and two, the gear to make that happen. You know how we always say that, you know, you don't always need the best gear to get the photos? In certain situations, if you don't have the best gear, it's just not going to happen. And that's, you know, one of the reasons why I shoot with what I shoot with is, you know, like I've said in the past, is I've worked my way up to it. And two, it gets the job done no matter what. You know, you look at a shot like this, and I believe this is 8,000 ISO again. No, it was 10,000 ISO. And the reason it's 10,000 ISO is because at times there is no light. And again, I'm breaking the rules in this photo. I'm shooting at 1/160th of a second, 2.8, 300 millimeters, you know, and that's just breaking the rules. That's breaking the rules because 300 millimeters, when I say this, is you don't want to shoot slower than your focal length. So at 300 millimeters, you wouldn't want to shoot below 1/300th or 3/20th of a second, which is where the shutter speed goes. Or if you have VR, you can kind of get away with it a little more. But in this case, I was on a monopod. I stayed very, very still when trying to photograph. And in this case, it's, oh, Jesus. My brain is not firing on any cylinders at this point for some reason. But this is Guy Kawasaki. He is one of the original Apple evangelists. In the 80s, he worked directly with Steve Jobs, creating different things for the Mac and all of those good things. And now he's just like a tech guru, and he's got hundreds of thousands, if not millions of followers on the Twitters and the Googles and the Facebooks, and he's just well known out there. And here's a funny story. Is I got there on Friday and I got picked up at the airport by the Funky Sofa guys because I've never met them, and we went out to lunch to get some sushi, some bente boxes, which were really good. And I was just sitting there eating, and but that's one thing that leads to the story when I kind of asked Guy a question during the conference when there were about 400 people in the room, and I asked if he shoots RAW because he's a photographer. He loves shooting. He has Nikon. He has a D7000, and he goes, well, you know, I don't shoot RAW, but you know, I didn't get on him for that because he has his reasons for that. But then he goes, let me ask you something. He goes, were you at a sushi restaurant yesterday, you know, just eating? Because there was a guy wearing an orange one of those shirts, and I had like the red one on or something this day. But I did. I had the orange one on the day before. He's like, I wanted to get my picture taken with you, but I didn't want to interrupt. Now, that would have been pretty cool to be interrupted by Guy Kawasaki, a guy that's just, his social reach is so freaking huge. So he made sure that he got his picture taken with me, and he loved the shirt, and he put it out on his Google Plus, and all of his people saw it, and it's just cool things like that. So I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 7 images here, but I want to do it the old way that I used to do it, where I went in and I showed you how I edited. So let's just dive into this black and white, because look, this color is terrible. You know, I could keep it in color and I could tweak the different things, but look what's going to happen. It's not going to be very good. So I'm going to go right to black and white. And we know that I'm going to pump my contrast, but in order to pump my contrast, sometimes I have to bump my exposure pretty far to just go to where I want it. And then boom, I pumped my contrast, and look what happened. And now I'm going to go one step further into my tone curves now that I've finally discovered to do this. We've got strong. Boom! Strong. Look what it did. Let's see. We're going to go back to medium. Medium. Strong. Boom! Boom, it tightened it up. Look at the contrast in here. Look at the sharpness, by the way. 302.8 D3S, just 300 millimeter 2.8. That's a shot. And all I did here, I bumped my exposure almost to stop, I bumped my contrast up, and I changed my tone curve, and I didn't take out any noise. I didn't do anything else as of yet, and I really don't think I'm going to do very much more. I don't mind, by the way, this grain, I call this grain or noise. You can barely see these dots. I mean, this kind of 10,000 looks like about 1,600 on most D3100 cameras, but, you know, that's all I did to this photo. That's really it. I put in my general sharpening, which I've shown in the past, which you guys can see right here on the right-hand side of the screen, 45:1, 39:70. I don't know. I don't even know if that's any good. It's just what I've left it at because it's just what I've done. So let's go on to the next one. And this is just what we were dealing with. Here's another shot. This was a stage shot. And I want to explain to you why I went black and white. This is where it's at. It's pretty flat. You know, it's pretty boring. I could pump some yellow into it, but look what happens. I could pump some green, you know, take out some, add some magenta, and I'm going to pull back on that yellow. And yeah, that's pretty balanced. Or I could use this and click on his shirt, which is white balance, and go, okay, that's white balance. But it's pretty boring. It's pretty boring. So I'm going to take it black and white, and that looks pretty good already. And I'm just going to go boom. Hey, hello, boom. Yes. I went boom on the contrast because I wanted to pump that, and then I come here, strong, boom, tightens it up even more, and there's not much else I need to do. I don't get all uberly-duberly technical and start trying every little thing known to man, every little plugin, every little tweak, because you don't need every little plugin. To me, this file now works. This looks really good, and sure, there's probably I could throw a little bit of fill light in there, brightens it up a little bit, boom, good, next one. Cool guy right here. So this is Darren Rouse. He is the owner of digitalphotographyschool.com. That's digital-photography-school.com. Amazing. Been around since 2006, I think that site has. And it's a very good resource for starting photographers. I think we have better resources over here, but that's okay. Darren really helped out the site a ton. He gets a lot of user-submitted content, and without Darren at the very beginning being supportive of the Fro site, we wouldn't have grown so fast, and he definitely loves putting up some of the videos and all of that from time to time on his site. But here we go again, 302.8. Am I resetting this? Resetting this. Look at where we started. I really, really liked where I had this. Let me see what I did real quick just to get a quick note. That, and that. So really, I didn't do too much. I took out the yellow, boom, gone. Goodbye, yellow. Bumped up my contrast slightly. That's cool. Let's see what happens with this color. Nope, don't want them to go pink. I'm just going to leave that where it's at. What did I just do? Yeah, a little bit right there. Oh, and by the way, I will be color calibrating my monitor shortly using my data color, what is that thing called? A Spider Elite 3. I've always been against them, but now I'm going to try it out and see how it actually works. Would this be a better black and white? Nah, this one I wanted to leave in color. I just like the background. I like the way the bokeh blew out, where the bokeh area is really sharp. Sorry, just really sweet and buttery. It's like tasty. It's like that butter you get when you get a lobster, and it's like, lobster butter. It just like clogs your arteries, because if you like leave it long enough, then the lobster butter turns into butter? Yeah, because it coagulates. But that's exactly what it does in your system, so be careful when you eat that stuff. I really like this color actually better than what we had before. And here we're at 8,000 ISO, 1/200th of a second, 2.8, 300 millimeters with the D3S, and I'm really happy with this photo. Let me warm it up just a little tinge, and there we go. So yeah, that's the one I'm going to edit. I don't think I'm going to edit this, but I want to just talk about, hi. This is iJustine. She's pretty big on the YouTubes, and she's got like 2.5 million subscribers. I would totally go on a date with iJustine, not for her subscribers at all, but she could totally, yeah, she could film the date, and I'd be up for that. So I'm going to ask iJustine out on a date. I know she lives in LA, but she travels quite a bit, and she's from Pittsburgh. I live in Philadelphia. I've got a cool loft with some funky sofas. You could check them out. But yeah, iJustine, I'd like to make that one happen. You know how to get a hold of me. I gave you a hair pick. But yeah, I like this shot. I came in tighter with the 302.8, but let's get to the last one. Boom. Look at these eyes. It's like, hi, Justine. I skipped it. Instead of calling her iJustine, I called her hi, Justine. Really, look at these eyes. Let's go in further. I'm just really fascinated with the quality of the 302.8 at 4,000 ISO with the D3S. Not so much her eyes. That's just baloney. 8:1. Hello, 8:1, and I can see every stinking light that's in there. Let's see. How do her lips look at 8:1? Nice and pink. Pump the lips. Pump the pink. I'm sorry. So yeah, 1:1, really sharp, looks good. I don't really need to want to edit this one anymore, but I'll do that. Look, there. It's much better wipeouts there. That is much better than that, by the way. That was too green, and then I went, boom, goodbye, little magenta. Hello, iJustine, and that's it. iJustine, you can call me anytime you want. We can tweet, we can Skype, you name it. But that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed these photos and the stories behind them. A little bit of editing, a little bit different than I've done for a while in photos of the week, and just going on a little bit longer. I don't know. I was kind of in a ranty mood. I got nothing to rant on. I mean, I'm sure I have plenty to rant on at the moment, but just wanted to show you these 7 photos, including 4 of iJustine, and just talk about them, and that's about it. Jared Poland, wait, hold on. That's the photos of the week. Jared Poland, froknowsphoto.com. Call me iJustine. See ya.